All right, this message today is going to be a little different. This wasn't the video that I intended to make today, but I just had to do it. I had to do it. So here we go again with another Boss Up Brotherhood video because of what went on today. Let me tell you something that, like I said, happened today that really bothered me. It may seem like it's small moments to some people, but it really showed me exactly what the younger generation of men are struggling with right now. And it happened at a gas station. At a gas station. Regular routine for me, sometimes I go out and I run my little errands. I gotta do some things. Had to get gas and pulled up to the gas station. Nothing special at the moment, just a regular stop, like I said, during the day. You know how life is, just moving around and running errands, trying to get things done early before I got to these interviews that I got to do with Boss Up Brotherhood. But sometimes in the middle of an ordinary day, life really shows you something deeper than what you can think about. So I pulled up to the pump, get out of the car, and start to walk toward the store. And right outside the door, there was a young man standing there. Now, when I say young, I mean young, my son's age. This kid had to be about 13, no more than 14 years old. I seen it in his face, real young. Still a boy, still at that age where he's supposed to be learning and growing and figuring out like who he really want to become. And he looked at me and asked me something real simple. He said, "Hey man, can you buy me something from inside the store?" So now mind me, like, yeah, who I am now, I'm that person. I try to help people when I can. That just the way I move. And if I see someone in need of help, and I can do it, I'm definitely gonna help. So I told him, yeah, what you need. But the next thing that he told me changed the whole situation and had me thinking differently. So I said, yeah, what's up? What do you need out of the store? He said he wanted blunt wraps. Blunt wraps. Now, don't get me wrong. I wasn't the perfect kid growing up in this world, and some of us can relate to this, but I'm definitely in a different state now. So now everybody knows what blunt wraps are used for. They're not those to roll up tobacco. Even if it was that reason right there, I still wasn't gonna support it. He wanted blunt wraps so he can roll up like weed. And immediately I looked at him and told myself, this kid is only 13 years old, maybe 14 at the most, and he's already standing outside of a gas station trying to get grown men to help him smoke weed. Right there in that moment, I had to make a decision, and I told myself, what if that was my son out there? Will I support that? Like, and that's just where I was at, because a lot of people who would just say, like, yeah, man, it's not my problem, or would say, here, kid, whatever. But I couldn't do that, because everything that we talk about in Boss Up Brotherhood is about standards. It's about standards. It's about accountability. It's about being the kind of man who does the right thing when no one is even watching. So I told him something simple. I said, I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm not. And not disrespectfully, but real calm, not aggressively. But I told him no, because I'm not going to be the one to be the grown man who helps a 13-year-old destroy himself. And maybe it didn't destroy itself. Like I said, it's some of us out here that probably did that at that age, and we turned out different. But what I stand on when it comes to the mission of the Brotherhood, I'll be stepping outside of the mission. I won't be the person that I say I am when it comes to the mission of the Brotherhood. So I walked into the store and grabbed for what I came for, and I go up to the counter, but behind me there was another man who walked into the store after me. The same young boy asked him that same exact question, can you buy me something? And when I walked outside the store, I saw something that honestly made my blood inside me boil. That man brought it for him. He brought the blunt wraps for him. And as a grown man, helping a child smoke weed, and in that moment, something inside me said, this is the exact problem in this world today that we go through. And then we ask ourselves these questions. Why is the generation like this? Why is it like that? Why are they going through this? Now, I'm not the type of man that really likes drama right now in my life. I said something. I asked him, why did you do that? Like, why would you buy that for him? And that man looked at me and said something to me that told me everything that where we're at as a whole society. He said, mind your business. Now, right there, that could have went in a very different direction for me, because when grown men start to talk like that, situations can escalate fast. And I know I had to make a choice in that moment. So I told him something simple. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go ahead and mind my business before it gets out of hand. Because I knew it could have got out of hand real quick. And I walked away because something in me was stronger than the old me used to be. I really didn't want it to escalate to another level, and me and that man got into something about a decision that he made that goes back to me allowing people to be people, and that's exactly what I did to myself. But the whole drive home, I couldn't stop thinking about what I saw and what took place. That kid, that grown man, that moment, and it made me realize something deeper. We always ask a simple question. We say, why the younger generation is the way, like why they're like the way they are right now? Why are the kids out of control? Why the kids don't respect anything? These kids are lost. They're lost. But nobody asks the real question. Who's guiding them? Who's guiding these young men? Because if a grown man out there helping you destroy yourself, then who's protecting you? Who's protecting the younger generation? We always want to put blame on them, but where's the guidance from us as older men or to say no? It's okay. That kid did not fail today. He was a kid. Kids test boundaries. Kids make bad decisions. Kids are still learning. The real failure was that grown man. Because adults stop being leaders when they make decisions like that. Young people lose direction, and we live in a time where too many grown men want to be friends with these younger kids, and instead of being leaders to them, too many men want to be liked instead of being respected. Too many men don't want to tell young men no, because sometimes the most powerful word to a young man is no. It's no, and I stand on that. A 13-year-old boy does not need blunt wraps at all. He needs guidance. He needs discipline. He needs direction. He needs older men who care, as myself, not saying I'm perfect or anything or take anything from anybody, who care enough about the future to say, not like that, not today. Your life is worth more than that, because the truth is, boys come to men to see how to be a man. They're watching other men, and when men around them have no standards, they grow up with none. This is exactly why Boss Up Brotherhood exists because there has been a place where men can stand for something again, and that's what Boss Up Brotherhood is about, where men hold each other accountable. We actually care about the next generation. Not just talking about it, but living it. Because we don't build strong men by doing that. We're going to keep watching boys grow up without direction from men like him. So I want to ask every man watching this video something. If a young man comes up to you tomorrow, today, later on, or whenever, after you watch this video and asks you something that could hurt them, what would you do? Would you help him? Or would you lead him in the direction that man led that young man into? Because the small moments like that shapes our future. Every decision matters. Every young man watching this video, we gotta set the example for them. That boy asked for blunt raps today. But what he really needed was a man who really cared enough to say no. And I'm not saying I'm that man that is perfect or anything, but I was that man at that moment to give him no. But my no failed when the guy after me came in and did the things that I was saying no to. But maybe since that guy bought him those blunt raps, maybe that young man thought of me being a loser because I didn't do it for him. Or maybe I didn't buy it for him. So at the end of the day, Boss Up Brotherhood, we're really trying to build these men to make these right decisions as such as I did today. And that doesn't make me better than anybody, but there's my standards that I stand on. There's the things that I want to happen. There's the things that I want to see the next generation be better than we were. And I stand on that. So this is a message out here to every man that we need help. We need help with men making better decisions and helping these young men out when it comes to making the right decision. So Boss Up Brotherhood, we dropped another one, and I'm here. We out.
He was only 13, standing outside the store. Asked me buy a blunt wrap so he could smoke some more. I looked at young man in his eyes and said no. Sometimes real love is a word you don't wanna hear though. He was only 13, standing outside the door. Another man walked in and bought it for him though. Now he asking why the young boys lost their soul. Sometimes real leadership is knowing when to say no. Came out the store and the scene hit my chest. Another grown man gave the kid what he requested. Blunt wraps in his hand and the kid walking off like destruction just became something easily bought. So I asked that man, why would you do that? Why help a kid walk down the road so black? He looked at me cold, said, mind your business. That's when I realized how deep the sickness. See, it ain't the kid that fell in the day. It's the grown men that start leading the way. We wanna blame the youth when they losing control. But who taught them standards? Who showed them a role? Boy, becoming by the minute they see. And when men stand for nothing, that's who they'll be. No guidance, no discipline, nobody to show. Sometimes saving a life just starts with no. He was only 13, standing outside the store. Asked me buy a blunt wrap so we could smoke some more. I looked at young man in his eyes and said no. Sometimes real love is a word you don't wanna hear though. He was only 13, standing outside the door. Another man walked in and bought it for him though. Now he asking why the young boy lost his soul. Sometimes real leadership is knowing when to say no. Ride on thinking about what I seen that day. Thinking how many boys getting led that way. Not by enemies, not by people they fear, but by grown men that simply don't care. 13 years old, still supposed to be got it. Not standing outside stores already Trying to show young men there's another call. Discipline, purpose, something deeper to know. Sometimes saving a life just starts with no. Cause that boy didn't fail, we didn't stay. When grown men stop thinking wisdom in their head. But if one man stands, maybe others will grow. And maybe the next kid is a different no. He was only 13, standing outside the store. Asked me buy a blunt wrap so he could smoke some more. I looked at young man in his eyes and said no. Sometimes real love is a word you don't wanna hear though. He was only 13, standing outside the door. Another man walked in and bought it for him though. Now we asking why the young boys lost his soul. Sometimes real leadership is knowing when to say no. That boy asked for blunt wraps, but what he really needed was a man who cared enough to say no. Boss up, Brotherhood.